This is the book of Numbers, chapter 12 and verse 6. And he said, "Hear now my words. If there be a prophet among you, I, the Lord, will make myself known unto him in a vision and will speak unto him in a dream." Shalom. Giving all praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakwadash. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father. Yahweh Shai is his only begotten Son. The Rahakwadash is the Spirit which gives us the wisdom, the knowledge and understanding to be able to prophesy in the names of our Heavenly Father and his only begotten Son. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone who labored before us and continue to labor in the true names of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, as well as a shalom to the elect who are serving Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai in truth and in sincerity. And I was meditating here on the opposition, okay, because being a man of the Lord ain't all sunshine, all right? You're going to have the opposition involved, and we'll get an account all right, no matter what you do. This is the book of Job, chapter 1 and verse 6. It says, "Now there was a day when the sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and Satan came also among them." All right, as you see, all right, there's always going to be opposition on this side. All right, you're always going to have spiritual demon Satan, all right, trying to interfere, you know, and entangle, all right, with his evilness to lead you off. And this is what the Lord, you know, has always done. All right, there's always been an opposition. It says, "And the Lord said unto Satan, Whence comest thou? Then Satan answered the Lord and said, From going to and fro in the earth, from walking up and down in it." All right, so spiritual demon Satan, the demons, spirits, all right, are always lingering over the Lord's men. All right, and I was just meditating and really studying, going into the book of Kings, okay, and, you know, just read on the accounts about Jezebel, you know, and how she had it out for the prophets, specifically the prophet Elijah, all right. And the list goes on, you know, who his you know, life being antagonized, so to speak, by Jezebel and her husband, King Ahab. All right. What Moses had to go through under the Pharaoh. All right, and even what we're gonna have to go through in these latter days. All right, whether it's the kings before us, the presidents, the governors, the mayors, or whether it be our women, all right, our neighbors, our family members. All right, there's always going to be a particular opposition. And that's why the scriptures paint out how we're not supposed to think it a strange thing, you know, when we fall into these diverse temptations, All right. Because the heat was so hot in the kitchen that Elijah, told the Lord, Yahweh, that, and he really thought that he was the only prophet left. All right. And the Lord had to tell him that there's a remnant. All right. 7,000 men that will never bow. All right. The knee to Baal, man. And what the Lord did to those, prophets of Baal, all right, is what he's going to do by sending his son, all right, getting rid of all the prophets of Satan, prophets of Molech, prophets of Baal, because they're still here. Okay. And the opposition is going to be here, and I myself, I have a testimony, of a demon. I just moved to a neighborhood, and it's odd, all right, but I'm going to share it about how, this is a neighborhood where majority in Los Angeles, and where there's a majority small hats, all right, Amalekites. And these devils are not applying pressure. They're minding their business. All right, but you have the nigger woman, the N-dub, threatening my life and what have you. And this bitch is in the spirit of Jezebel over minor issues, But I don't want to go too much into it, but I just want to share how, all right, our spirits and the spirit of these wicked niggas and nigger women, they don't coexist well. Okay, they don't coexist well at all. And we prophesy, because I know the Lord's going to kill her. And I throw up curses, and I believe on those curses. All right. I believe that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai is a rewarder of them that do wickedly. All right. And I believe on, all right, being humble, taking the bruises that the Lord may send, because it's all judgment from the Lord, and not putting matters in my own hands, because there's times when you want to flex your power, all right, similar to what Elijah did, where he slaughtered the prophets of Baal, all right. He was the sword of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Yet, we know what Yahweh Shai said in red letters, all right? You live by the sword, you die by the sword. Now, I don't mean to bitch up, because I stand on my 10 toes, yet I don't go looking for danger and judgment. I don't want to say I'm wrong in that, all right? So this is Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 22. It says, when a prophet speaketh in the name of the Lord, all right, whether this be end time prophecy or something that's going to happen, this thing is not light at all. It says, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is a thing which the Lord have not spoken, but the prophet have spoken it presumptuously, thou shalt not be afraid of him. And I try not to be presumptuous, in what I call out. But when you call a circle, it's just what you do. Because the Lord is going to reiterate everything he said in the scriptures over and over to us. And pride goes before destruction. All right, we know the word of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right, we know when the Lord is going to bring forth the gates of hell. Okay, just like the account where Elijah called out the wickedness of that heathen Jezebel. And what did the Lord do in the latter times? He took her out the same way. This is, let's get the context. This is 1 Kings chapter 21. In verse 21, it says, "Behold, I will bring evil upon thee, and I will take away thy posterity, and will cut off from Ahab him that pisseth against the wall, and him that is shut up in Israel, that shut up and left in Israel. And I will make thine house like the house of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, and like the house of Baasha the son of Ahijah, for the provocation wherein thou hast provoked me to anger and made Israel to sin." It says, and of Jezebel also spake by the Lord, saying, "The dog shall eat Jezebel by the wall of Jezreel." It says, "Him that dieth of Ahab in the city of the dog shall eat, and him that dieth in the field shall the fowls of the air eat." And the account of her dying was, horses ultimately trampling her and dogs to, tearing her. And that's one of the judgments of the Lord. Jeremiah spoke of the dogs to tear. All right, that's going to come to these people in these latter days. All right. And the writing is on the wall. Common sense plus the scriptures. When you see someone committing evil, and by the way, this is a Christian woman, so-called Christian woman. All right. Ironically. All right. And these are all tests from on high. All right. This is wisdom and discretion. Wisdom and what do you call it in discernment? We can discern. There's going to be a dark time for someone. All right. And that's what the Lord will bring forth as we learn more and more and gather more experience. We'll learn the judgment of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. All right. This is the book of Proverbs, speaking of the wisdom. Proverbs chapter 8 and verse 5. It says, "O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart." All right. So you have to use the wisdom. All right. Think outside of the box. It says here, "For I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips." All right. The Lord is against wickedness. Just going down to verse 13. It says, "The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride and arrogancy and the evil way, and the froward mouth do I hate." And, that's the spirit that we're in. We hate evil. Wicked niggas and, spiggers and bitches, man. And we love judgment. All right. Pray this lesson was edifying. Shalom.